Some of the different components on the bandsaw. Sometimes the sizing the bandsaw is sometimes it's determined by the size of the wheel, or sometimes it's determined by the size of the throat. Okay, but I've got the upper wheel and the lower wheel. Other parts are right here. I've got two guide blocks, and notice on the guide block that the blocks do not come in contact with the teeth themselves. Also, I have a thrust bearing, and then I have the same configuration on the bottom down here. And while you're down here, take a look right here. I've got a bevel gauge. I can loosen this knob, turn the table to whatever angle I want to cut bevels. All right. On top, I can use it in combination with a miter gauge. Okay. Anyway, some of the safety features, just simply, it's a pretty easy saw to use. Just simply need to make sure that you are not, you're honoring that 6-inch margin zone right here. So don't get your hands too close. Even if I need to cut off close to this edge, put both hands on this side. Okay. The nice thing about this saw, there's no kickback involved. We simply have the blade cutting the wood as it's going down and looping around here like that. One last feature of the bandsaw is that I've got a magnetic on and off switch, so that if it happens to get unplugged, I can plug it back in, and it will stay off until I hit start again. Okay, I'm going to cut off a little bit. I can, when I cut, I want to make sure that the blade guard is just barely clearing the wood. Okay, I don't want to have a lot of blade exposed whatever I'm cutting. So I'm going to lower that down with this thumb screw right here and tighten that in and go from there. I can make curve cuts. Just be cautious on how tight you cut that curve, because you will pitch that blade if you're cutting a curve that's too tight. Last thing is control the back out. Have a plan of attack before you start cutting any piece of wood. You don't want to have to back out long distances. Okay, you might have to make relief cuts. So just plan your cut before you get started. All right. If you catch, what will happen is that you'll pull this blade out and you'll pull it off the wheel. It's going to make a funny noise. Just simply relax, shut it off, and get away from it. And I'll show you how to put the blade back on. I'm going to make a quick cut, and I'm going to make a little bit of a curve cut to finish this thing up. So you can make any cuts you want to, and I can use a miter gauge, I can use a bevel the table, whatever, but it's a pretty friendly saw. Okay?